after this morning's session, I've decided to bring this old chestnut out. Put that right over there. There we go. Twice. Okay. Okay, so I decided to do something because I like statistics. I like hard data, right? Vibes can be misleading. In fact, I would go so far as to say vibes are misleading, just in general, right? So let's look something up, shall we? Warning, may yell at video games. Let's go. So this is obviously a bit preliminary, but so far, vanilla has taken up 2/3 of the entire run. Just in general. There we go. Sorry, doing some math really quick. So these are rough numbers, obviously, because thanks to the nature of kind of estimating, I wasn't really keeping track to the minute like I usually do. But for those of you curious, Zillart, anybody want to guess how long was the Zillart expansion? Roughly. For the record, I am counting approximately half of the epilogue for Zillart's timeline, since it's kind of shared between Zillart and Promathia. Apparently, I have one viewer right now. That's okay. Nobody's watching FF11. That'd be ridiculous. Ahem. About 6.5 hours, give or take. Now, to put it in perspective, that's right along the lines of, say, Yoshi's Island, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Mega Man X4, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. You know, games that are known for being one and done, play in an afternoon kind of games, right? Kirby's Dream Land 3, Cogent Sword of Rewind, the original Shovel Knight, that is to say just basic Shovel Knight, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, around that range, right? Promathia was a little longer. Greetings. Still don't know what did that. Promathia, although someone, I forgot who, looked that up on the bots and didn't find, so. Promathia was about 18 hours, give or take. That puts that more along the lines of, say, Zelda Phantom Hourglass, Psychonauts 2, Valhalla, Railway Empire, Resident Evil 6, Hitman 1, Hades, stuff like that, right? So, okay, cool. Treasures Thank you, Mr. Red. I felt if I was ever going to use that particular gag, that was the time to do it. Treasures was about 13 hours. That's closer to, say, Dragon Quest II, System Shock 1, Ratchet and Clank 1, Portal 2. Yeah, relatively shorter games. I don't know how long Wings is, because we're not done with it yet. But so far... Some quick math here. It's about 30 hours. I don't think it's going to beat Vanilla, but that's interesting. Because if you really think about it, 30 hours isn't that long. And that is exactly why I wanted to zoom in on that. Like, it feels substantially longer than 30 hours, is kind of the point I'm reaching. But it actually hasn't been all that long. Not really. It's just interesting to think about. To me, anyways. Like I said, data, right? Also, here's another fun factoid. I keep saying, oh, I'm so sick of Wings. I started Wings this Monday. It is currently Friday, for those of you watching on the VOD. So, I've only been playing Wings for just under 5 days now. Yeah, again, doesn't feel like it. Oh, Lore Runner, I was just dreaming about you. I'm not sure what I think about that. I don't want people to dream about me. It's terrifying. Looking for Kate Sith? She made a brief stop here about a moment ago on her way to Realm Farm. That's where you and I first met, wasn't it? Feels like a lifetime ago when I caught you there. At any rate, our feline Fred should be there. Why don't you try searching for her? Okay. Man, I'm trying to figure out which quest I'm on. I know that sounds strange. Okay, let me grab the Mr. Rid. So we are specifically on 8 in the Woods. Okay, so we're actually past that. Thank God. Okay. I think we have a chance. 6. We essentially have 6 quests left. Now, we only did like 2 quests first shift, so I'm not trying to complain. I'm just saying that quest number isn't as indicative as you'd think. Oh, we're pushing. We're doing this. We're beating Wings today. This is happening. We have spent 5 days on Wings. I'm good. Let's go. Also, if anybody has access to a calculator really quick, if you don't mind figuring out what 1800 divided by 6300 is, or I guess 18 divided by 63 would get you the same results. My point is, like, when you're looking at the list, it lists it all as one quest, you know? That's the point I was making there. Again, I think there was some code shenanigans going on with that. Wings. Sandoria. Hell, I might have a second to do the math myself here. You know, I was thinking about how you have to talk to an NPC to leave any of the cities, and I realized it's a perfect analogy for FF11. You can enter FF11 easily, but leaving? That's actually a total lie. It's actually the exact opposite of that. It is very hard to get into FF11, and incredibly easy to quit it. It's okay. I managed. I played with my nieces over the lunch break, and I actually did eat some leftover rice and chicken. Right here. 9 missions. Jeez. I believe you. I do. Any good flavor? So, I recently found this mustard that's mustard with jalapenos in it. It's not like traditionally horseradishy mustard. It's plain old yellow mustard with jalapenos in it. I have very slowly become addicted to this mustard. Like, yeah, you know, it's the kind of thing I would never have expected I would get into, but because I don't like yellow mustard. But the jalapenos just add a very necessary flavor to it. It's over here somewhere. Oh my God, Ross! You know what you must do. Remember this from, honestly, real life months ago? How long did Wings take to come out in real life? Like, what was the gap between launch and the final patch? Had to have been a while, right? 3 years. Oh my God. Wow. That's... I think that breaks every WoW record. And for those of you who don't know why I'm saying that, WoW has had some very long droughts, content droughts, in its history. Three years is insane. I know. Obviously, not the whole 3 years isn't the drought. That's not what I mean. Like, yeah, no, that's not a content drought. That's really, really taking its time coming out. Although I'm curious how much Abyssia was filling in the gaps there. 3 years. Oh, God. No, you know a much better analogy than WoW? STO. How many of you remember that the final STO run was funded over a year before we streamed it? Because we were just waiting for the last quest to come out. I once told you that the brighter future was born from the land, hands, hopes, and dreams of the children of Altana. I limited in the manner of aid I could in this dark hour, not fully at liberty to assist. The responsibility to save the world from peril ultimately falls on the champions of Dama. It was, Mr. Red. Tell me, Lord Winter. You do believe your future's done. Illusion. Yeah, duh. It touches my heart to see how much you've matured since our first meeting, how dependable you've grown. Bearing the burdensome weight of the future, you're now attempting to soar, take to the skies. You can see it, can't you, visible to your eyes? The glow of light before you is a junction of eventualities. This place is where the memory of you and Lilithset was born, came to be. It would seem we have no further need of this little one. It served its purpose admirably. From here onwards, I leave the matter to you. You must retrace your steps. No! No! Okay. Okay. Let's make absolutely sure we have the starter one. Which is the Ronfaure Dawn drop. Yep, right there. Okay. 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 Yeah. I need you to do me a favor, Mr. I need you to murder me. I need you to end my life. My miserable life. No, I actually don't think this will be too bad. This is literally traveling from point A to point B, which is probably my least favorite thing to do in this game. But this doesn't look bad. It just looks padded, right? You know what this looks like to me? No joke. This looks like we need to stretch out before we can release the last content patch or something like that. Like, this is the kind of quest you would release at the end of a patch cycle, and then it's there to keep the players busy before the next patch, which actually has the finale, that kind of stuff. I've seen that happen before. Okay, so survival guide to East Ronfaure. Okay, I'm trusting the guide here. I'm just completely trusting. So East Ronfaure past. Excuse me, I need to clarify. I'm just gonna say south. Every time I see S, I see south. Okay. Then head east across the bridge. What? Oh, right. Yeah, we go immediately behind us. Let us out! Why is this door not open? Why is this door not open? Why is that door there? Why does life exist? That's a wall. You cannot get ye flask. Why not? Okay, so head east across the bridge to I-6. Okay, that shouldn't be too bad. I actually know where that is, I think. Oh my goodness. Hi, Wolverine. I almost said hi, Terrestra. Or Terrestra. Which is doubly wrong, because not only is that in your face, that's not the game you put there. Listen, reading's difficult. I actually can't read. Sorry. That's my secret this whole time. I've got a dude who reads for me, and I got a little headphone thing in, and he just reads the lines to me. And every now and again he gets confused. He's like, "Hey, yeah, someone just gave you a donation. What's it towards? Terrestria." Well, if you do it every Friday, which I'm pretty sure you do, this would be the third, yes. This is the third Friday we've been playing. Let's put it that way. We have been playing for 2 weeks, but we started on a Friday, remember? Anyways, let me jot that down. Wolver. And we'll put that towards Terraria, Impossible Creatures, and Lego City Undercover. Hi, Otherworld Nebula. And thank you, Wolverine, very much. Yeah, so they're just showing us cutscenes again. Yeah, this is a clip show. Again, it's been 3 years, so I kind of get this, so I'm not going to be as harsh about this as I could be. But having to physically go to each of these spots to see these cutscenes is just... It's just... pissing in my Cheerios, you know? Yeah, exactly. Well... That is not the item I used to lure Kate Sith, game. I don't know. I'll take some advice from the crowd, because this is straight up a clip show, right? Like, just, it is. So we're in Jugner Forest. We want to go to Laval, which I think is down there? Maybe? God, where's Laval? I don't know where Laval is. Hang on. Let me see if I can pull up a proper map here. Hey, Dr. Winter. I feel like this is lying to me. What? You can access Laval from G11 in Jugner Forest. Okay, yeah, I think it's actually probably best to just walk from here. God dang it. Alright, whatever. You know what? No. Actually, you know what? It isn't. It isn't. I have a better idea. I'm making an executive decision. We're going to go this way, which is a much more linear path. Leads straight to a book. Then we're going to use the book to go to the book in the zone we just left, because I think it'll be faster and easier than navigating the road south. That is to say, the river south. I look forward to being wrong. Although I'll never know. So, since we're doing a clip show, let's just get rid of the music. Like, there's no music, there's no dialogue, there's no anything. Top 3 Batman movies. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Now, let's see. Let's get our Batman music going. If I can find it. There it is. Oh, yeah. There we go. Probably Mr. Ed, so I am kind of in a hurry. If you don't know what game this music is from, you make me sad. Alright, so. Top 3 Batman movies. You know what's really sad, Mr. Red? It's actually just called Batman NES. That's it! That's the name of the game. But it's important to distinguish because there's actually, like, I want to say 5 Batman games on the NES, and only one of them is worth a damn, and it's this one. 1 second. So I want to go to Wings, and then Jugner Forest, where we quite literally just were. So I was debating Mask of the Phantasm, but if I'm being completely honest, I think there's another animated Batman film which is better. Return of the Joker. I hate to, lean on that because Lord knows the Joker gets way too much attention as is. But that film is just damn good. Okay, here's the ball. Woo! Phantasm was good, but Return of the Joker is just... I don't know, it's got a little more oomph, to use my own terminology, I think. Anyways, both have the best Joker in it, amusingly enough. I'm gonna stealth, just in case. My second favorite is the Heath Ledger Joker. Yes, I realize I just named 2 Joker films. Shut up. I don't want to hear. Where am I going? K9. That's not that far, it looks like. It's like over here. But no, like, for real. Whoops, we're on random. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, I actually agree, Ross, with both points. Dark Knight, whatever the name of that movie, Nolan Batman 2, is a substantially worse film without Heath Ledger's The Joker. His performance and the creative way they wrote him both make that film. I don't know what else to add to that. Okay, so here's K9, and it's the... One second. Lower right of K9. Probably this. Yeah, exactly. Plentiful. I just want my phone call. So, that leaves me with a third choice. I'm just going to give it to Phantasm. Phantasm is so close to Return of the Joker, and it's part of the DCAU, which is the best version of the DC Universe, in general. So, yeah. Shrug. Nolan 2, Mask of the Phantasm, Return of the Joker. There's my three. There are several other Batman films I enjoy, but those three I think are just at the top. Yeah, how'd you think? How'd you like the Odyssey, Free? No Batman and Robin. So, in my mind, there are three categories of Batman films. I mean this sincerely. There's the really good ones, which I just listed all three of. Although, Begins kind of, like, is in that category as well. Then there's the ridiculous Batman films. The old one, the Adam West one, is a good example of that. And, of course, Batman and Robin, and, frankly, Batman Forever. I actually rather unironically like Batman Forever. I've only seen bits and pieces of it played, so I wasn't impressed. So all of those are the hilarious Batman films. Then you have the other ones. And that's how I'm going to describe that. Yeah, 89 and Returns are their own thing, is how I'm going to go into that. Okay, so Sandoria for next. I'm just going to hard through that. Yeah, the ones I don't really want to talk about. 89 Batman is fine, but for the third time in a row, it's mostly fine because of the actor they brought in for the villain, Jack Nicholson. Batman Returns... I think I'm the only person in the world who actively dislikes Batman Returns. When I first saw it, I was pretty young, obviously. I thought it was creepy and weird. Then I went back and watched it when I was much older and had more understanding of movies. And I thought it was bad. It is creepy and weird. You're kidding, right? First of all, the palette of the film is ridiculous. Second of all, Penguin bites off a dude's nose. Do I need to get into some of the absolutely ridiculous stuff they do with Catwoman, who's basically a zombie in that film? No, it is, Mr. Ed. There's some good acting in that film, and there's some good stuff in that film. I don't want to sound like I'm being dismissive, but under my own cognizance, I would never want to rewatch that film. But both of those films still sit in kind of the, okay, whatever, territory. That just leaves the only Batman film I think is actually legitimately terrible. And that's Rises. That's Nolan 3, if I'm screwing up the name. Because, God, Rises is such a mess. And that's the nicest way I could put that. Nolan 3 is just... It's not even salvaged by performances like, you know, Batman films tend to be. I mean, Batman and Robin is an atrocious script that is made fun by virtue of several of the actors actually just having fun with it. You know? Nobody was allowed to have fun in Rises. Anne Hathaway is a good actress, and she got to show off her butt, so that's always nice. But... seriously, why does she have to be on the motorcycle like that? I'm not the only one who noticed that and was just like, why are you sitting on a motorcycle like that? I mean, we know why. No, agreed. Uma Thurman and Arnold Schwarzenegger pretty much carry Batman and Robin. Oh God, I don't even get me started on what they do with Bane. Don't even get me started on that. Hi, Zara. Anyway, sorry. So I was asked a second question. Let me scroll up a second here. Not counting Joker, favorite live-action villain of the Bats. Oh. Sorry, I'm actually really torn on this. Forgive me. I'll just give some of the people I'm actually considering here. I can't remember the name of the actor who played Scarecrow in Begins. Liam Neeson as Ra's in Begins. Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face in Forever. Cillian Murphy, that's it, thank you. All three of those are really good performances and do a really good job of their particular characters. All three are an interpretation of those characters, too. Sorry, Cillian Murphy. I don't think I've ever heard his name said out loud before. Shoutouts to Arnold, yeah, for his Mr. Freeze, but the other three, I think, take it more. Liam Neeson actually being really solid. So, yeah, duh. Cillian just being wrong in the head in, like, the creepiest possible way. He does a really good job of portraying what I would usually refer to as the serial killer archetype. Like, there's just something wrong for him. With him, excuse me. And of course, Tommy Lee Jones just having fun as Two-Face. As much as he's, like, ridiculous and over the top, he puts so much energy into his portrayal that I'm completely with it. Who's I do think Jim Carrey went slightly too far. He was still very firmly in his Jim Carrey phase of his acting career. That's the problem. You know the one. Yeah, actually, Blade of all. Where is this? Just south of me. I mean, yeah, me too, Dr. Winter. I don't remember the whole quote by memory. I used to. If I could find this stupid thing and start this cutscene, I'll look it up. God, where is this stupid thing? Where is this stupid thing? Down the ramp. Okay. Oh, we just switched games. There it is. One man is born a hero, his brother a coward. Babies starve, politicians grow fat, holy men are martyred, and junkies grow legion. Why? Why? Luck! Blind, simple, stupid, doodah, clueless luck! That's Tommy Lee Jones just kind of crushing it. My opinion. Another day of wine and roses. Or in your case, beer and pizza. You said you'd let me go. Ah, too true, and so we shall. Nothing like live bait to catch a bat. Dude, the guy who played that security guard, I actually don't remember the name of the actor. He's in several things. He is, I guess, undervalued, is how I would describe that. He does such a good job with that role. Depends on how well you do it, Mr. Red. Hey, Giga. Did you enjoy? I know where to get to that. Yeah, for all my tremendous frustration, Wing's story has been pretty solid. Favorite live-action Batman? Ooh. And as usual, because let's be honest, it counts. Favorite live-action Bruce. High off the deep end. I'm gonna go here. Yeah, see, the thing is, Bale is probably one of the better Bruces. Really Otherworld Nebula. No, you do, Wenlock, you do. I think Bale did a really good job as Bruce. I think his Batman honestly sucked. Like, no offense to Christian Bale. Well, I guess actually offense to Christian Bale. I don't think he did a good job as Bats. I don't. Who's the best Bat? I know this is going to sound very strange, but I know this was actually said earlier in chat too. I legitimately like Keaton better as Vulture. I had no idea that I would fall in love with his performance as the Vulture as much as I did until I saw it. It was just like, oh, wow. Wow, look at that skybox. Look at it, Mr. Red. Look at it, it's so brilliant. It's beautiful. All right, moving on. He is. He's so much better. Michael Keaton. So Michael Keaton is a solid actor, first of all. He actually started as a rom-com actor, if I'm remembering correctly. I might be thinking of the wrong person. That's why we said live action on the World Navy. We have to drift away from Conroy. Because, yeah, he was Bruce and he was Bats. And that's just the end of that. Just like Mark Hamill is the Joker. But anyways, Michael Keaton, as a consequence of his acting background, kind of knows how to put a calm intensity into his performance. Like, he doesn't overact, he doesn't underact, he's very straight. And that comes across as menacing. There's a reason why, despite the fact that he was just a guy with a gun, he was the terrifying element while in a car with Spider-Man, right? Yeah, no, that scene is a hell of a scene. Okay, so best Bats live action actor. So let's go down the list, shall we? We've got Adam West, which, moving on. We've got Keaton, who's fine. I have no issues with Keaton. After that would have been Val Kilmer, who's fine. A little bland as Bats. I think Keaton was better than him. Clooney, who was not as hokey as he needed to be. He did a better job of Bruce than he did Bats, which is actually kind of common for a lot of these characters, I think. Let's see. After Clooney would have been Bale. We already talked about him. We've had Robert Pattinson, and we've had Ben Affleck. Honestly, I think I'm going to go with Affleck in that list as the best Bats. There's a... He manages the intensity that's necessary for Batman, the obsession, while simultaneously kind of having that I am completely on top of things at all times, while simultaneously constantly struggling to keep up. It's a hard thing to manage, because he has to seem like he's on top of things, but he's also very much not. He is struggling all the time. Yeah, me too, Dr. Winter. And yeah, Jeremy Irons was an inspired choice. It's a shame we didn't get a really solid movie to really express what we could have had with Affleck and Irons, but whatever. Where am I going? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, let's go this way for this one. I mean, George Clooney can frickin' act. He just kind of didn't in Batman, in Batman and Robin. Reeves? No. I've never actually liked Christopher Reeve's take on Soups. Now, I will not go so far as to say that I think it's actively bad. Like, I will not go and say it sucked or anything like that. But I've never particularly enjoyed it. Ah, thank you, Mystic Maker. Also, I'm glad that I double-checked that, because I was literally raising my hand to ban what I thought was a bot. Why did they make Bruce Wayne a billionaire? There's two reasons for that, which I'll get to in just a second. Don't let me forget that question. It's a good question. I actually liked Henry Cavill's Soups for what it was. I have to admit, I am a bit of a Henry Cavill fan. The new guy, I don't even know his name, but the guy who is currently playing Superman has, by all accounts, been just completely crushing it. So I'm, yeah, kind of with that. I'm trying to think if there's any other live-action Soups that's really worth writing home about. I mean, yeah, Wolverine. Which brings me back to the billionaire thing. This is funny. So I've entered the dungeon, so I can teleport out of the dungeon, so I can teleport back into the dungeon where I actually need to go. Because I hate my life. So, let's get this out of the way. I do believe there's a bit of a propaganda involved in good rich people. This is nothing new. Rich people being good in fiction goes back actual centuries. So let's just get that out of the way. That is probably at least part of it. There's probably some cultural propaganda-iness about that. Hang on one second. So I need to go to Wings, and then Castle's Fall. Yes, yes. Thank you again to Blade to Fall and Mr. Ed, dragging me here while I was entertaining my nieces. Of course he did, Giga Pudding. I needed my corn! He knew that. There we go. I think. Yeah, no, exactly. It's a hopeful thing is the second reason. Most... How do I phrase this? Most real people, I'm just going to say that as bluntly as I can, like to think about what it would be like if we got rich. You know why? Because we're real people. I bet you money that every single person listening to this right now, whether on the VODs or live on stream, has at least some wish list items that you would do with you know, if you became a millionaire. And I bet you most of them are within the realm of reasonability and acceptability. Nothing ridiculous, insane, stupid, or, I don't know, random thought, trying to actively destroy the world for everybody else who's living in it. That's because you're a real person. I'm just going to phrase that as bluntly as I possibly can. Because here's the thing about real-life billionaires, real-life super rich. The real-life super rich only get to that point. Like, it's kind of self-selecting. They reach that point because there's something wrong with them. Because they actively want to leech and sap and drain from the rest of the world, and therefore want to benefit themselves at the expense of others. There's a word for that. Evil. It's the closest thing we've ever come to as a species as an objective... Hi, Sean. As an objective definition of the word evil. Benefiting yourself at the expense of others. That's a billionaire. Now, there are a couple of asterisks that prove that rule, you know, across history. But you need to be a certain mentality to even strive for that. Most people who are not like that, who start getting up there, you know, get up into the millions range, they tend to turn around a bit. There's a lot of evidence this. I don't want to go down rabbit hole on this, but there's a lot of... I know, right, Mr. There's a lot of cases where people who are not garbage human beings start to become rich and then basically stop. That is to say, they hit a cap, right? They hit a metaphorical ceiling on how much money they garner because they're not garbage human beings. Because they don't want to make the world a worse place. They don't want to leech off of everyone else in order to try and benefit themselves. Yeah, exactly, Ren 36. At a certain point, a sane human mind realizes you have enough, right? If I pointed a finger and just was like, bam, and gave you, I think the number right now is about $4 million. This is something economists keep track of, so the number changes over time throughout history. But there's a set amount of money at which, mathematically speaking, your life isn't going to change past that point. In other words, I'm explaining this wrong. There's a graph, right? This is the amount of change to your life. And this axis is how much money you have. So early on, it's like even just if I dropped $20,000 on everybody in chat right now, that's a huge change in your life. Yeah! But then the next 20,000 isn't as much, and the next 20,000 isn't as much, and so forth and so on. And yeah, you plateau. At a certain point, you just kind of straight up plateau. It's around 4 million. After 4 million, even when you're counting the super rich, your life just kind of stabilizes right around here, right? Most sane human beings reach that plateau or get near that plateau and say, yeah, I'm good, and just kind of hover around there. Yeah, the level cap, exactly. Where? Ah, okay, I know where I'm going. I mean, a lot of billionaires are people who are basically handed a lot of their money from someone else, who were then horrible human beings and blah, 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 and pushed past the cap, right? Where am I going? Yes, here, yes. Oh, don't even get me started about yachts. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting a little bit around here. The point is, Mr. Red, in fiction, it's nice to have a character whose superpower is money. What we really mean when we say money is actually resources, right? What is the superpower of Batman? What's the fact that he can afford to give a free college degree to every one of his employees? What's the superpower of Lex Luthor? It's the fact that he can get all those toys. What's the superpower of Iron Man? He can bring in rare resources from across the globe in order to build his tech, right? Having access to resources is an interesting power. It's an interesting kit in fiction. And so what most writers do is the same thing writers usually do. They don't think about it. Most writers don't really have a concept of what $1 billion is, or what it means to be a billionaire. They use that number for the same reason Warcraft has a 10,000-year gap in its history. It's because it's a big number. There's a reason why the DC comics have played around with the idea of making Bruce a millionaire instead of a billionaire, and amusingly enough, it's barely changed the character. Where am I going? Grauberg. Anyways, that was a rather lengthy answer. I hope that's an acceptable answer to you, Mr. Ed. Also hope I didn't just lose the internet. So Kingpin isn't as big of a deal as Lex, but otherwise the two do have a lot of similarities. And I don't mean the fact that they're both bald. Both of them are much less evil than some of the other things that exist in their setting. Both of them tend to have weak points for specific villains. Both of them are evil men, but very lawful evil. They actively want an orderly and good world that they can rule over. The biggest difference between Kingpin and Lex is that Lex's superpower is his brain. He is a genius. He's an Iron Man level genius. Whereas Kingpin is a beast. Kingpin can actually fight Spider-Man, and it's actually a close fight. In general, Mystic Maker? Well, he is overrated off the deep end. That's not a hot take. It's worth noting, I actually rather like the Joker. And in fact, several of my favorite portrayals of Batman villains are the Joker. That doesn't change the fact that he's overrated. I believe it's actually called Joker Immunity Syndrome, or something to that effect. There's a trope for this. It's when a specific villain just keeps being used over and over and over and over and over and over because they're popular. It doesn't have to be a villain, actually. For example, Wolverine over in X-Men. Again, I like Wolverine. He's a good character, but he is way overused because he's popular. It's the same... quite frankly, this is also true with Spider-Man. Again, I like Spidey. I do. I think Miles is a little bit more interesting, but still, Spidey is a cool character, and Peter Parker is a great character. But God, he's overused. God, I hope not, Zach. Sorry, so getting back to that. So, most interesting Batman villain that is not the Joker. Any version. Any version. I think the word interesting was used. Hang on, let me scroll up a little. No, it did say best. Never mind, it did say best. My bad. Yeah, Freeze is way up there. Honestly. The fact that Freeze tends to drift into anti-villain, or that is to say not full villain, probably helps that. See, I can name one version of Freeze that was done extremely well. No, not the animated stuff. The Arkham stuff. Freeze was really good in Arkham Knight and in Arkham City. Okay, that's good. Do this one. Freeze is a solid pick, honestly. I will admit I've always had a fondness for Two-Face. Debatable, Ross. I would say no. Savage is usually more against Flash or, you know, the League. I'm gonna go a little against the grain here. But this is an asterisk. This isn't my real answer. It's just something I was thinking about. Hush. Now, the problem with Hush is he came back. And that's the nicest way I could put that. In his own series, when it was just Hush, he was great. Even his motives were so hilariously petty. I won't spoil it, because that is spoilers, but he was just so petty. Not off the top of my head, Sharks, you know. I'm not a huge fan of Red Hood, no. I mean, yeah, Wenlock. Frankly, Hush is custom made for a movie. Because he is at his best when he is isolated. When he has one story to him. Do I still read comics? No. I walked away from comics, God, like, in 2006, I want to say. Yes, primarily Bat's villains. So, like, I'm not counting Lex. I'm also not going to count Wallace. Because even though I like Wallace, in fact, I like most versions of Wallace, even. Calling her a Batman villain doesn't track, you know. Okay, what am I doing? Did I say Waller? Amanda Waller. Why did I say Wallace? Raish is interesting. Oh, hey, I've got a boss fight coming up. Let's get rid of this amazing Castlevania music here. I mean, let's be real. The DCAU is the best version of all of the characters, don't at me. The only versions of characters that I think surpass the DCAU is the Arkham characters, which are based on the DCAU, and usually use the same actors, so... Alright, okay, so I actually have to leave and come back in. I mean, I really did schedule midnight after this on purpose. I know you don't care for WoW, and there's no judgment for that, Blade Troll. But that is going to be such a breath of fresh air. Oh, God. Oh. I lined that up very much on purpose. Like, it feels weird doing 2 MMOs back to back. But no, that is the right call. I will wait for you, Mr. Red. Just chill for a second here. Yeah, no, Midnight is going to be a hell of a palate cleanser. It is modern WoW, in all that that means. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard some negativity about Midnight, too. That's okay, because I've heard some negativity from... I'll wait for you, Blade Troll. I'll wait for you. I don't mind. I've heard some negativity about War Within. I've heard negativity about Dragonflight. I've heard negativity about BC. Don't listen to the haters. Haters gonna hate. In fact, hang on, do I still have that image? I do! Hey, it's right here! Bam! This is my reaction to that, D20. Haters gonna hate. Piss on them. No, not literally. Not literally, no! Some people have been talking smack about Midnight, just like they have every other WoW expansion that has ever existed, including Vanilla, by the way. I'm ready, Ross. I'm ready. Here it comes. Can I just say, I absolutely love this GIF. I really do. It's perfectly looped, too. You are watching perfection, Matt Overlord. Yeah, y'all are stupid. Yeah, if you want to get back into WoW, start with Dragonflight. I mean that. I mean that with total sincerity. Let me describe what modern WoW is like right now. Let me describe what if you have never played WoW before and you're like, you know what? I want to play WoW. You sit down, you make an account, it's like, cool, here you go. It's free, you try it out. You start off a new character. You're starting in a brand new zone, which was designed back in BFA Shadow, which has been touched up in Dragonflight. In War Within. It's a really good zone. It's a little bit too hand-holdy for some people, but that's because it's designed for someone who has never played an MMO before. So, you go through that, quest finishes, that zone directly leads you to Dragonflight. And bam, you're in Dragonflight. Congrats. You actually have to work at it to not start with Dragonflight as a brand new character right now. To be very clear, I think that's a good thing. Let me say one of the biggest things Modern WoW does correctly, in my opinion. And I'm going to explain this by using both WoW and FF14 as examples of how to do this badly. In most expansions of WoW, you would fire up WoW, and you'd make a new character, and you'd be either in Vanilla or Cataclysm. Those are your options, depending on which point in history you're at, right? And you have no idea what you're doing, and you try to do a thing, and then there'd be a quest that would tell you to go to someplace else. There might be a thing telling you to go hit Pandaria. Chromie might poke his head in and be like, hey, what's going on? All sorts of stuff, right? It was possible to do any expansion, pretty much in any order, from, I want to say, about Warlords onwards. And it was very, very unguided. There was no real guidance to speak of other than just following the chain where you started at. That kind of sucked. It was too open. It was what a lot of people refer to as the Morrowind problem, right? You could do whatever the hell you wanted to, and you can. And if you know what you're doing, that's great. Now let's talk about the exact opposite problem. Let's say you fire up FF14 now. Let's say you want to experience Shadowbringers and Endwalker, which I actually know people who do. So you sit down and you start playing FF14. You know what you get to do? All of it. In order. With no possibility of skipping or bypassing unless you spend real money to do so. Sucks to be you. Go enjoy ARR, and then ARR patch, because that's functionally another expansion. Then Heavensward, then Heavensward patch, then Stormblood, then Stormblood patch, until you can finally get to the content you actually want to go and play. There is no bypassing it, unless you spend real money. I legitimately think both of these approaches are wrong. And I can use Modern WoW as the example of how you can actually have your cake and eat it too. Because here's how it works in WoW. Right now. When you start a new character, you go through the tutorial zone, and then you are dumped immediately into Dragonflight. Now, everything about that then guides you through Dragonflight. Dragonflight has a couple of its own problems. We're walking. It's not a perfect expansion. But the point is, you're dumped into Dragonflight. But nothing is preventing you from going anywhere else. Do you see the distinction? All of the guidance pushes you onto Dragonflight. In fact, the game literally, physically puts you onto the Dragon Isles after you finish the tutorial zone. But you can just leave. You just go right back to Orgrimmar, if you want to. And go do Shadowlands if you're insane. If you feel like it. You can. You can go do Legion. You can go do Warlords. You can start up Kata. You can do whatever the hell you want to. But everything in the game guides you towards doing the Dragonflight content, which will then push you to War Within, which will then push you to Midnight. And that is probably as close as we're ever going to get to having your cake and eating it too between these two extremes. It is guidance without mandate. It is one of thousands of reasons why I say Modern WoW is just a different animal and is just better than older WoW ever could even try to be. Oh god, that would be awful, Dr. Winter. I'm actually kind of with you on that, Mystic Maker. Yeah, actually, off the deeper. Good way to do that. Because you can, by the way. You could just go and do it. I know you're here. We're waiting for Blade to fall. In fact, I'm going to get rid of that ringing noise in my ears. Back to Castlevania. Yeah, me too, because I haven't done it in a few years, Blade to fall. I need to remind me to tell you about that. Anyways, I just want to respond to Mystic Maker because I like making alts. I know that's weird, but I always have, ever since the old days, ever since the Bronze era of MMOs. I enjoy the process of being like, you know what? I feel like playing something else. I probably got that from Diablo, if I'm being honest. Diablo 2, most specifically. Because I'm the guy who was like, well, yeah, I love playing my sorceress, but you know what? I'm going to try out a different type of barbarian today. And so I just roll a barbarian, right? Just try something else. This is one of the reasons why I appreciate how alt-friendly WoW is, because just allowing you to make alts, frankly, isn't enough, right? I mean, FF11 makes you play alts if you spend real money for the character slots. But it does. But what's the point? There's no real point or purpose in making another character in something like FF11 or FF14, which is fine. That's what they're going for. But I do like being able to switch between my druid or my warrior or whatever. But a lot of systems have to be in place to support those alts. Otherwise, that all just gets frustrating. It becomes a chore. Let me use a direct example. Right now, in Midnight, this is a little clunky. I actually think there's a negative to be had here. But right now, I get these things just by doing stuff. Just by doing all the stuff I'm doing every week, I get tons and tons of this currency. I can turn that currency into loot boxes that then give me extremely high-end gear. Like Delve, actually maybe extremely high-end is a bit of an exaggerate, but like Delve Tier 8 equivalent gear, which is Warbound. Why is that relevant? Because I can then just drop it right into my alt and say, here you go. I got my Druid to 90 relatively recently, and I was able to gear him up inside of about 10 minutes. If that mechanism didn't exist, alts would be much more frustrating in a while, because you have to go through the entire gear treadmill for every single class. Fun fact, most MMOs do exactly that, and have done that in their past. No, I do not, Mr. Red. Point in fact, I think, obviously I've said for years that I think FF14's alt leveling is too slow. I absolutely think that FF14's alt gear grinding is too slow as well. I am immeasurably grateful to the various crafters who give me gear so I could do the run and not have to worry about gearing up. Let's see, fending. Oh God, hang on. What are the various armor types? There's fending, slaying. It's not going to tell me, is it? Oh, here we go. Fending, maiming, striking, scouting, aiming, casting, healing. 7. Having to get 7 entire suits of gear every expansion is arduous. I should know. I've done it more than once. And you can't even really properly start doing that until some of that gear even exists, because of the way that FF14 does its gear. I'll take the Warbound option, thanks. Anyways, one moment. Alright, I need you to name the game this song is from. I'm kidding, it'll be too easy. Someone said something I'll respond to. I think it was Blade Tavon. Maybe? No, I'll shoot. Right, the ESO starter system. That was it. Here, you guys are probably actually tired of 8-bit music. Please forgive me. We'll upgrade to 16-bit. So let me describe what happened when I was going through ESO. So obviously I played in the beta, and the beta starter character creation sucks and terrible, and you go through that stupid instance and it was flooded, it was buggy, and it was awful. That was back when quests didn't share properly or weren't instanced properly, so you'd be waiting there in line for the chance to loot the thing that you need to loot to progress. It was awful. It was awful. So that sucked. But let's talk about when I actually played ESO with PAX, when we went through vanilla as well as Vvardenfell. This was strange, and honestly, to this day, I'm not 100% sure what happened. So we sit down, we look at the classes, we're like, what do we want to play? Arcanist doesn't exist yet. Necromancer doesn't exist yet, so we're just picking whatever. Okay, no problem. I feel like being tanky. I always play a tank as a main, so I go ahead and decide on Templar. He plays, I forget, was one of the rogue types. So we get our characters together. He makes a Dunmer. I make a Argonian. We're cool. We hit play. What's the first thing we see? That's right. We're in Seyda-Neen. Now, the off chance you don't know where that is, that's a location on Vvardenfell in Morrowind. No quest, no nothing. We're just dumped there. We're a little confused, and we just kind of roll with it and see what's up, and we quickly get the beginning of the Vvardenfell main story quest. It's like, oh, okay, well, what's this? And then we start doing the Vvardenfell quest. We get a decent ways in, to like, say, level 10, 15-ish. before we pause and we're like, this isn't vanilla. Where are we? What are we doing here? Now, I never figured out exactly what happened. My presumption is because Vardenfell was so new at the time, like the expansion had just come out, that new characters were automatically dumped there. Because we didn't even get a quest to go do vanilla. In fact, we both committed to going off and finishing vanilla as soon as we finished Vardenfell. That was harder to do than it sounded. Like, that was an effort. We had to go digging through forum posts to find people who were reporting, because there's no Wowhead for ESO, or at least there wasn't. We had to find the NPC that allowed us to go to the mainland at all. And I will go ahead and admit that we ended up going to the wrong mainland. And the mainlands don't physically connect. I mean, actually, in some cases they do, but they have some quest walls that prevent progression. And in some cases, you're just not going to live through the trip. So we spent the better part of several days just trying to get to the beginning of the main story quest. We did finally manage it, but holy crap. By the way, we ran into this exact same problem immediately after all of this as well. So we finished vanilla, right? And we beat the big bad, and the big bad's like, oh, I'm dead. And we were like, okay, now what? And we have a quest to go do vanilla again, and we're like, well, no, we want to do the next story quest. And then this music started up. And I'm just like, what, huh? I found a Reddit thread, which was a person who had put together an infograph which described which expansions were in which order and which quest NPCs to talk to start those quest chains for those expansions. By the way, I went looking for that infographic again about a week or two ago when I was getting ready for the ESO stuff, when I committed to the ESO run. Couldn't find it. So I don't know if we're going to have issues following the MSQ or not. We'll see. Cookies do sound good. Apparently Giga made a picture. Time to destroy Giga Pudding. Oh, yeah, I did see that you sent an image about that. Although, I don't know if that'll help. We'll see. Like, for example, I'm just standing around in, like, you know, Morrowind, right? Well, where do I go to continue the MSQ, Giga? How do I know where to go? This is not a hyperbolic question. I am not trying to make a point. I legitimately don't know where to go in order to progress. No, what I did was I did the Thieves Guild, and I think the Dark Brotherhood, and then we were both sick of the game and we put it down forever. So no, I don't know where the next MSQ is. I am reasonably certain it's the Clockwork City, because the Clockwork City wasn't out yet when we were doing it, when we were playing the game. So, I'm pretty sure that's after Vardenfell, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Yeah, so, where do I start? Don't actually answer me, I don't want to hear right now. But you get my point, right? I don't know where to start Clockwork. I don't know where to start Somerset. I don't know where to do anything. That's exactly the problem. Well, I mean, that goes back to what I just mentioned about WoW, Dr. Winter. I like guidance. That's the word I've used for a long time. Holding my hand pisses me off just as much as it does anyone else. And giving me absolutely no guidance pisses me off just as much. But you give me guidance, cool. I'm not worried about ESO, Mr. Red. I will be leveled with gear, thank you, Bladewall. And I will have a maxed out mount with the mount buff. Like, it'll be like doing it, honestly, it'll be kind of like the WoW run, except substantially slower. Or sorry, the opposite of that. Faster. I could see that, PB Good Fate, yeah. I honestly don't remember that off the top of my head, Dr. Winter. I also might have been using a mod for that. I mean, me and Pax had no issues doing it either, if I'm being quite honest. Now, there were two of us, and Pax and I have been able to thug every MMO from Acheron's Call to, I don't know, whatever is the most recent one that has actually come out that we've actually played. But my point is, I'm not super worried about it, so it's going to be a pretty smooth play. I'm not trying to convince you at all. I've given up on that. You walk away from it, that's cool. I do need someone to decide for me whether I play Arcanist or Necromancer. I could just flip for it. Necro with Arcanist subclass. So, I know what Necromancer is, right? What's an Arcanist? Talk me through this. Yes, I did. Thank you, Giga. It sounds totally worthless for my purposes, but I can see why some people would like it, especially in the end game. The only reason I hesitate on Necro is because Necro is like Werewolf. Also, I don't know how the pet AI is in ESO. I actually really like pet classes, but I can name the number of MMOs that have good pet AI on one hand. No, I'm serious. There are vampires in ESO. They do take damage in sunlight. Unfortunately, I am no longer a vampire, so I cannot bite you, Mr. Red, because I am a werewolf. You want to be a werewolf? I got your back. Oh, there's a Bladewall. Let's stop listening to this amazing music. Let's go beat Wings. Two cutscenes and then a final boss. You don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm feeling fabulous, as only a newborn could. Great Zyber. How about yourself? Ready for the final leg of our journey? I still feel bad about essentially accidentally kicking Mr. Red out of the group. So he couldn't be there for the cutscene. So, I'll admit that was part of my mentality. It's like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing either. Leaving group to get ownership of group is just a time-honored tradition. I've been doing that for years. In a lot of cases, it's much easier to just leave a group and then reinvite, or just leave a group, than to say, hey, give me lead. Especially in a game whose interface is FF11's. I mean, in fairness, you probably wouldn't have even come. Like, you would have just been like, eh, whatever. And then all of a sudden, my party members. For how long was I asleep? Not so long that you missed out on much. Still up to speed. Truly? Because it felt like an eternity to me. I was locked in a seemingly endless dream, you see, one where I saw myself, but in another future. As a child, that girl was no different from who I was, but the unending strife of the Crystal War forced her to walk on a path more grueling than my own. Unable to bear the grief and suffering all around her, she's arrived at a decision. To be insane. To restore a measure of peace back to the world, she chose to take on the burden of immortality, and it changed her irrevocably. You speak of Lilith, you're all to myself. Truth be told, I envied her so. She's everything I'm not, mature, charismatic, indomitable. Taller. But above all, possessed of absolute power. Time and again, I found myself yearning to have even a fraction of her strength. Then perhaps I might have made a greater difference. Well, here we are. We are here. I don't know, Mr. Red. What's it worth to you? That's right. Donate now to buy positives. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Could you imagine? Okay, one more cutscene. I'm not IGN. Lord GN, maybe? IG Runner? So you finally come. Your clash with my spite wardens was a sight to behold. That a band of misfits can bring father and mother both to their knees. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't grievously disappointed. But no matter, for there exist yet stronger pieces in my disposal. Lilith, we've come to reclaim our future. We won't allow things to go your way any further. Never a font of brazen statements, I see, but do you honestly believe you can defeat me? We can triumph over you, overcome darkness. With our own hands and paws, we'll pull up your future of death and destruction by the roots. Very well, seeing as you refuse to accept your defeat with grace, I'll take it upon myself to expedite your doom. Hate Sith. The pleasure of destroying you I shall save for the very last. foul servant of the goddess. You shall bear witness to the final moments of your beloved champions of the dawn. Listen to me, Lilith. You and I were one and the same. I know of your suffering as if it were my own. In my dream, I felt the grief and pain that engulfed you. I understand the burden you willingly chose to bear for the sake of all mankind. We're connected right to the core of our being. You know this to be true. Still your tongue. Behold this immortal body, magnificent claws, majestic wings. Beside my transcendent existence, you are as a worm, writhing on the earth, unfit to even lie amidst my shadow. Do not presume to relate yourself to me. Your fate lies within the palm of my hand. I shall personally crush your fabricated reality from existence. I shall cast aside the shackles of your false goddess and preside over the world as its rightful ruler. Thanks to all the crap that Odin gave me. Yeah, I know you have a sugar daddy. It's cool. Whatever. Let's do this. Alright, everyone. How many seconds do you think it'll take us to kill the final boss of Wings? I'm gonna buff for this, too. Yes, actually, Matter Overlord. That's the brilliance of it. I've been thinking about giving that a positive. Odin is backing the Shadow Lord and is backing Lilith. Like, it's kind of messed when you think about it. I mean, it makes sense. Odin just wants a world of strife. He controls both sides, so they will constantly kill each other. That's it. That's the goal. It makes a lot of sense. You don't understand, Metal Lord. He's already won. The mere fact, and she's dead. The mere fact that there's two factions fighting forever means he has won. That's the winning move. That's the goal. Blood for the blood throne. Whatever it is. Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne. There we go. Yeah, fighting is the point. Cruelty is the point. Lilith? Oh no, Lilith said it's dead. A fool to the very last. Not really, Zara. This is the thing that felled me from on high? Absurd. I refuse to suffer this humiliation. I will bow before neither god nor man. You already bowed to... Okay, whatever. For the sake of my people, in the name of my world, all of your kind, your gods shall be given to the flames. Once again, you're bowing before Odin. I know. They don't think of Odin as a god. So, alright, what's our phase 2? Oh my god. Avert your eyes, everyone in chat. Oh, I get it. Wings of the Goddess. Okay, that makes sense. Wait for it. And dead. God, Savage Blade is so stupid. That was half her health, if you missed that. It's over, Lilith. End of the road. We must give chase. After her. Oh, I don't remember Trihex here. 100 hours. It was a hot minute. And a coordinated effort by other people. How could this be? How could I lose? I refuse to admit defeat. Runner. Yeah, what's up? Atomos is like, Atomos is devouring memories. Both of theirs. Once it completely engulfs the dark future, claims it for the void, it should fall into stasis. What will become of Lilith? She's dead. Oh, it stopped. Something's gravely amiss. Out of place. Well, looks like my god-killing days at an end. Time to kill Atomos, Shink. Atomos, what are you doing? For what end? All futures stand equal. As a one-winged bird knows not the sky, as a one-armed scale serves not its purpose. Naught is exempt from the absolute law. Atomos chooses not. It's gotten overreached itself, overextended. It must have tried to devour the memories of the goddess and the dark divinity both. Swallowed more than its fill. And thus were the Tyranids born. Oh, all the memories in time ever consumed are being set free, released to respective worlds. Yeah, Atomos just puked out time. Wait a minute. I remember now. The 80s sucked. So Atomos doesn't show up very often. He was invented for FF5. And then after that, I think the next FF Atomos was even in was 9. So 5, 9. Oh, gosh. Honestly, I think then 11 and 14. I'm not sure he's been in any of the other ones. There's not a lot to pull from, is what I'm trying to say. However, the recurring trend is that it is the dimensional Esper, or Eidolon, or whatever. In other words, it is the personification of the spell X-Zone, or whatever that was called back in, like, FF2. Insufferable child. Savor this moment. Glow to your heart's content, for your will has prevailed. Tell me, Lilith, is there no way to stop Atomos from and disentangle our two realities? As we do something, our worlds will collapse. You presume to ask the solution of me? This accursed world can be fed to the void, for all I care. But this means your future will vanish as well, and everyone with it. I don't want that to happen. I want both of our realities to continue existing. I want the suffering dimension to go on! Suffering. Must close the gates. What, you mean Atomos? But how can that be done? To end the encroachment of one reality on the other, the gates must be sealed from both sides. Am I? Do not look to me for help. My eyes darken. The hour of my departure is now. You must cross over to my world, the world of strife, and thence seal off Atomos. Never slow to comprehend, I see. Listen to me, child. You must assume my mantle and replace me as Lady Lilith. Place you? Heed well my words. For this shall be the first and only boon I ask of you. Cross to my world, end the encroachment between our realities. Upon accomplishing that, you must arise as the new Lady Lilith, and in my stead lead mankind to a future of peace and prosperity. Yeah, all you have to do is defeat the Shadow Lord, who's been, you know, in charge of the entire planet for decades. You once said you envy my strength, maturity, and beauty. Know that I envy who you are, all you possess. Your youthful innocence and optimism, the scores of faithful friends upon whom you can rely. There existed a time in my life when I was much like you. Go now, little son. Do not neglect to say your farewells. No, we did. We just killed ourselves trying to. Or, you know what I mean. Oh, thank the gods. You haven't taken in harm. Must quit this place without delay. Put distance between it and ourselves. Wait. I can't leave with you. The gates must be closed. So let me explain what I was just explained to. I want to grant Lilith, my other self, her dying wish. As I seal off Atomos from Lilith's world, I need you to do the same in ours. And then we must keep watch over it, making sure that the two realities collide no more. Patiently and resolutely until the day Atomos turns to stone. Alright. I knew I could depend on you. Let's go and finish this. We fly now? What we're about to do is a grand finale worthy of the proud name of Future Fabulous, don't you think? I want you to have this to remember me by. Come what may, I'll never forget you. This morning, Triaxia. The countless journeys we embarked on, the battles we fought, the insurmountable odds we overcame. Every single moment we spent together, even the mundane, I will treasure for all of my days. Space and time may separate us, but you will always be a part of me. Oh, this is it. I best be off. I went down like a chump, Triaxia. I killed myself in like 3 seconds. Is Atomos stopped? Should Lilith succeed in closing the gateway, it'll gradually revert to a petrified state, fall into a deep slumber. The process may take years or decades, but the distorter of time will eventually become dormant. Distort time no more. Ah, Lord Runner, I fear the hour of our parting too has come. Time to say goodbye. My mission is accomplished, my purpose fulfilled. The goddess need no longer weep, no further call for sorrow. As such, I must make like a tear and dry up. But isn't the past still screwed? No, seriously, like, the Shadow Lord won. And... Right? I'm not... What? It's been swell fighting alongside you. Had myself a gay old time. You take care of yourself, you hear? Watch over it in Altana's name. But, like... What? But now we stand. In hell! I think this is actually going to be faster. Yeah, I mean, it's a Final Fantasy game. How many Final Fantasy games have had good time travel? I'll just cut ahead of you here. 1. Yeah, that's what gay means, sir. It's... Wait, am I in the past? I'm in the past. Okay, we're good, we're good. Gay. Adjective. Happily excited, merry. Keenly alive and exuberant, having or inducing high spirits. Bright, lively, brilliant in color. Actually, what's funny is most FFs don't have time travel. Like, we've got 1. Eight. 13-2. And 11 and 14. I think that's it. I think that's the list. Ah, Laurenus, gorgeous to lay eyes. Word of your valorous exploits at the Valdonian front has been resounding all over Sandoria. Everyone speaks with high praise of the crucial role you played in securing a foothold in the struggle. To think it was I who saw your potential from the very start. My uncanny sense of perception never fails me, I tell you. Except that's not what he says, is it? To think it was I who saw your potential from the very start. My uncanny sense of perception never fails me, I tell you. With your invaluable service, our northern forces were able to regroup. They're preparing for the final offensive as we speak. Oh, glorious day. I'll stop now. Is something amiss? You don't seem to be deriving any pleasure from the happy tidings. What about Lilizet? That's not a name I've ever heard. Yeah, right, okay. Your trusty partner who fought beside you during the war, you say. Oh, come now. We both know you're modest to a fault. And this is doubtless some ploy to... This is hard to read. some ploy to cast attention away from yourself. These ears of mine hear many a rumor, but they all speak of you as a dauntless lone wolf. Holy crap. It's actually easier to read and not translate, so forgive me. Marvelous news. Sir Radcliffe have been reinstated in the Royal Knights. Numerous persons of influence petitioned the Alliance headquarters, and the dismal west... The dismissal, Jesus Christ! And the dismissal was overturned. What's more, it's looking more like the Knights will be reinstituted under his command. Truth be told, Sir Radcliffe appears to have lost all recollection of his time in Valdania. But seeing him otherwise hale and hearty is more than anyone asked for. Which, amusingly enough, lines up with what we were told in the future. That nobody really remembered what was happening during that period of time. Hold on your proverbial hat, for here comes the biggest, most exhilarating news to crown them all. It pleases me no end to tell you that a wedding date has been set. Woo! Who's the wedding, you ask? Why, who else but our own dream couple, Radcliffe and Portia. Two very evil people, apparently. With auspicious events taking place both on and off the battlefield, the prevailing mood in the Allied forces has become one of optimism. It feels like forever since we've had a chance to celebrate. Here's the official invitation with your name on it. Knowing your incurable propensity for wanderlust, Sir Radcliffe entrusted it to my safekeeping. The ceremony will be held at the Temple of Goddess in Juno. I'll make more presently. See to it you show up in a timely fashion. Thank you for the sub, Coaster. I do always appreciate support. You may or may not know this, but you can put that sub towards increasing interest in up to 3 future streams. If you would like to. Hey, Spartan. Oh god, it's Mr. Red! Oh god, oh god, oh god! Okay, camera stop moving now. Alright, we're good. I love how the next quest is to unequip my weapon. Because of course it is. Hell yeah, Mystic Maker. I also get to do that long-ass walk to the spot that has no warp anywhere near it. Again. You don't attend a wedding with a weapon equipped. Third birthday would beg to disagree with you on that. Oh my god, per piece, Mystic Maker? Oh, that sounds painful. I've done some bad grinds in my life, but... Oh. Yeah, you know what you should play next, Mr. Ed? A good game. I'm not even joking about that. That's exactly what you should play next. Go play a good game. I don't care which. I don't care what. I mean, WoW counts. Let's go to here. And then Suramagoo Champagne. God, I don't know if you could salvage third birthday. But yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, Mr. Red could have played Chrono Trigger. Instead, he played FF11. These are the choices that we make in our lives. This is the sound of the downfall of humanity. Suramagoo. So I need to use the gate twice. You've got to be kidding me. As of this moment, I actually think War Within is a better expansion. But that's unfair, because War Within is a complete expansion. Midnight is still being patched. I am looking forward to the Serpent Dial, though. So, a lot of MMOs do this very strange thing, where drop rate actually depends on active players. So, to use one specific example, let's say that there's, random example, ultra rare drops that almost every enemy type or individual enemy can drop. The more players playing, the less it will drop. If that makes sense. It's because the drop rate is calculated as a per server drop, not a per character drop or a per kill drop, right? This is most easily expressed on private servers, where you could see if there's only like 5 players playing, blues and purples are just metaphorically dropping all over the place. Yeah, that works in instances as well. You're a lore runner, Portia and Mr. Mayakov's good friend, right? Depends on how much you're painting, Dark Lord. Proceeds are starting. Hurry! Depends on how hard you throw them. I suppose I can't argue that. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to witness the joining of Sir Ragelis and Portia, I'm not going to bother with their last names, in holy matrimony. Will the groom and bride approach? Oh my god, they got custom outfits just for this scene. Okay, I'm sorry. Why are her thighs exposed and her wedding dress? I mean, it's her wedding dress. She can wear whatever the hell she wants to. But why are her thighs exposed? I can't wait for the day I'll walk down the aisle garbed like that. What's the shocked expression? I'm at the tuxedo, silly. I mean, she's a dancer, but like... What? Maybe it's hot. So he's just dying right now. In time immemorial, the goddess Altana wept tears of benevolence upon the land, and from those tears we were born. Then the goddess bade us to love one another. It is our creed, our mission, and for only love can restore Vana'diel to her former beauty. Today, these two before us have heard the goddess's words in their hearts. They are brave, for this is the first step in a long journey. Sir Ragelis, do you take this woman as your sacred wife, to love for all eternity, never betray, even should your blade be sundered and your quiver emptied? I do. Portia, do you take... What is going on with her veil? God. Do you take this man as your sacred husband, to love for all eternity and never betray, even should your blade... It's the same thing. It's the same vow. Now, say unto one another the holy vows. I will be Portia's sword. I will be at Portia's side, defending her from harm's way and repelling her foes always. I will do the same thing. Ugh. You may now attempt... Okay, hang on. Can they handle a kiss in this animation? That's not bad, actually. FF11 continues to surpass old FF14. You're married. Kiss her. I mean, I've noticed there's nothing like flowing or anything like that in FF11. Aw, he's crying. Right? Like, there's no skirts, there's no dresses, there's no, like, overcoats, you know, or, dusters. If you remember, WoW only started figuring out how to make that work as of Dragonflight, which is very recent. Yeah, exactly, Night Overlord. They were like, what do we put her in? Show some skin. We're so glad she could be with us on our special day. If it weren't for you, Sir Angeles and I might not have made it this far. For a certainty. Neither of us have memory of what transpired in Valdonia, nor do we know how we came to be back in Sandoria. The only link we have to that blank is our recollection is a parchment we found by awakening. It was scrawled, "Be sure to thank Lorerunner and Lillisette." A mystery to be sure, but it seems we too owe you much and more than we can remember. Another mystery being, this Lillisette. Is this person known to you? Yeah. Oh, I suppose there's no way to give her our thanks. Well, okay, fine, here. Why, this earring is identical to mine. I never imagined I'd see another. What is this grief that racks me so on the happiest day of my life? Yeah, there's a decent chance you two are never going to have a daughter, by the way. That's how these things tend to go. Yeah, your child is in hell. Congrats! It feels as though there's a gaping hole in my heart, as if I've lost something terribly dear to me. We're in the past, Magister. She hasn't had a daughter yet. Thanks for the crotch shot there. Enjoying the festivities, I trust. The bouquet toss, God, that took me a second, is about to take place. I wonder who Lucky Lady will be. Tee-hee-hee. Or sorry, Lucky Lass, I think is what it says. I mean... lovely beyond words. Why, it's as if the goddess herself blessed this union with her divine presence. Wait, who got it? Who got it? Lillisette, an enchanting name brimming with warmth and hope, yet somehow forlorn. A beautiful name. It seems we're of a mind. We'll name our first daughter Lillisette. And close. There we go. I thought the dude got it, but whatever. Yeah, exactly. I thought Mayakov got it. One very last thing to do, which I'm pretty sure. I'll double check. Yep, no, we're good. Nope, we have one last thing and then we'll finish Wings. I guess this is fastest. No, it's always good to check. It's irritating running out here. hard liquor time. I actually don't drink. But Mr. Ed will have hard liquor on my behalf. I don't even have water right now. Seriously, I'm out of water. That cup's empty, that cup's empty. I read a lot for these streams. What do you want from me? Time to drink paint thinner. Glug, glug, glug. I've also got some engine degreaser. Glug, glug. I want to never feel anything ever again. Glug, glug. I'm just going to start saying Adeline. I have no idea how it's supposed to be pronounced. And I kind of don't care. It's Adeline from now on. That's a tough one, Dr. Winter. I think I'd like an escalation this time, if given an opportunity to choose. Low, middle, high, in that order. That's it. Time for a NyQuil reset. Glug, glug. Just laying down my sick new beats here. See, that doesn't work as a thumbnail because it would need to be a GIF, right? We don't have GIF thumbnails yet. It'll make a great clip. You know, actually, I have not streamed any Ninja Gaiden games yet. I did a video on Ninja Gaiden 1 back in the day when I was experimenting with a new video format, which I called Then and Now. The idea was I was playing a game I was familiar with, and then I handed the game off to a friend of mine who had never played it before. And the idea was to get the perspective of someone inside and outside of the game, then and now. It was problematic, and I had to rely on someone else, which is always a terrible idea when it comes to this kind of thing. So that idea died on the vine. But I'm pretty sure the Ninja Gaidens are part of the NES block. That'll be fun. So, I should mention that when I am, of course, talking about the Ninja Gaidens, I'm referring to the NES games. Later on, a completely separate series, which is a reboot of the series, called Ninja Gaiden, because of confusion, came out on the Xboxes. I haven't touched those, and honestly don't ever really plan to. Among other things, I don't own an Xbox. I mean, all I need for the NES games is save states. Hell, I beat Ninja Gaiden 1 without save states. Twice in my life. I really don't have much else to prove there. Reality with reality collideth, and in time returneth to the waltz. The hope of life restored, unto thee a single vanishing tear wished thus. May thy courage never falter, may thy heart stay ever true. I shall imbue thy moonshade airing with the power of thy choosing. Know that this vessel can house only such power as befits its diminutive size. Okay, sure. Do I care? I'm never going to use this stupid thing. Sure. Accuracy. Whatever. TP bonus? That one? 250? Sure, whatever. At the certain? Yeah, sure, whatever. Go with the blessing of the goddess. The end? The end? Hang on. The end? We'll call that the end. Sure, whatever. What are my existing earrings? Oh, they're both matcha earrings. Oh, sure. So as we did it, that was extremely anticlimactic. Wow. Okay, we're done. Wings is done. Everything's done. Forever, and we never have to do the epilogue, maybe. I actually want to test it. I do. I want to test it. So we will not do the epilogue. Specifically to test. What a week. It's only Tuesday. Ah! 5 days. It took me 5 days to get through Wings. That's not that long. It really isn't. Okay, so we're at Life on the Frontier. That's 1-6 is where we're at. Where are we? What? What? Yeah, Kata was a hot minute. In fact, let's look that up. How long was Kata? There we go. Cataclysm is actually one of the longest runs we've ever done. 185 hours. That's longer than all of Guild Wars 2, to put that into a bit of perspective. In fact, if you look at it, so our lineup right now is all of WoW at 867 hours, all of Tor at 737, all of FF14 at 601, then all of Tor Vanilla, which is 223, then just WoW Cataclysm, that's 185, then Guild Wars 2, which is 158, all of Guild Wars 2, which is 158, Endwalker for FF14, which is 153, then all of Star Trek Online, which is 137. And then our first non-MMO, Zelda Tears of the Freaking Kingdom, at 127. Ugh. Oof. Then it goes ARR, Baldur's Gate 3, Shadowbringers, War Within, Pokemon Shield, WoW Legion, WoW Dragonflight, Elden Ring, FF13. Wow, that was a long one. Starfield, Heroes of Might and Magic 5, Dragon Age Inquisition, Cyberpunk. All of those are 80 plus. How long is Persona 5? 100 and something. I don't remember because it's not in this list, obviously, because it's not up to date review. Let me at least figure out where I am, because the walkthrough doesn't make sense to me. It says I need to utilize 15 or more imprimaturs on completed coalition assignments. I don't actually know what that means, so hang on. Yeah, I'm gonna double check something. Because I has a theory. I remember doing the Adeline grind because while I was out there is when I told people that if you were an ICE supporter, you should get the hell off my show. No, really, that's what like solidified that in my memory. By the way, if you're an ICE supporter, get the hell off my show. Alright, is this Western? Eastern? Looks like Eastern? No, where is this person? Who are you? Where are you? Western. E8. I don't know where that is. That's kind of near there. Sure, whatever. Hmm. The one where I said fuck ICE, Ross. Is this it here? I don't know where this person is. What? That is... okay. Yeah, hi, YouTube. What I found most amusing about the follow-up to that is two things. First, only a very small number of people decided to raise a stink, and those people raised a hell of a stink. It's the same thing it always is, right? 20 people are like thumbs up. One person is like, rah, and that's pretty much exactly what the ratio was. Second thing, my income actually went up after I said that, not down.
Talking about ICE again?
Yeah, it just happened to come up by coincidence. Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Your brother-in-law...
No. Is it peeling?
Your brother-in-law went to the grocery store to get things to make dinner and came back from the grocery store having made the mistake of taking the children with him and run out of them.
Okay.
So.
Is my cam? Well, what happened? What? What's going on with my camera? Oh, that's new.
What?
You see that?
Yeah.
That's new.
Fun.
That just started.
Well, flick it. See if that fixes it. Flick it!
Hang on. Hang on.
He doesn't believe in my hit things method.
Yeah, ICE found me, guys. I shouldn't joke about that. Oh, God. Animations are immediately and noticeably better, by the way.
What'd you do?
No, nothing. It's just I've moved forward another expansion.
Ah.
Would you mind heading to the battlegrounds for us? You can't be serious.
Yona is not in here. Oh, you want to show?
Okay, we're out of the
Eating
cutscene.
M&Ms does not make
No,
We're still
I'm
glitching. out
I'm
of
gonna
cutscene.
eat
Okay,
M&M.
out.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna eat gummies until wait, can I have one of the new gummies? No, I don't want.
Yes. Here.
I'm
You want to try one? You've been without for a few days.
uh-huh.
Here you go.
I'm gonna try a new one.
Oh, what do you got? We've got green. We've got pink. I'm not sure what else we got actually.
We only got green and pink.
I think it's getting worse too. I thought it might have been the game.
Why would the game cause your webcam to glitch?
It's happened. With it particularly, but yeah, no, I can see it. I can see it. That is immeasurably frustrating. All right, out. I gotta do tech stuff.
Mom, you go out too.
Mom will go out in a minute. She is deciding about
Dinner.
dinner.
So that. There you go. Here. Well, there should be no webcam.
There is a blank.
Perfect.
I mean, it's still there. It's just a still shot. Hold on, let me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's actually funny, though. It's acceptable. So I will accept that outcome. Ah. This is perfect. We finally finished Wings and it killed my webcam. Of course, FF11 would cause me hardware damage, would it not?
I don't know that those two things are necessarily related.
Probably not.
Ow.
Please continue.
Well, I made friends with the sea.
Actually, Alright. Can you guys still hear me? Like, here, Kafka. Okay. Yeah, I know. I unplugged the camera, guys.
Did you plug it back in?
I did. So we're going to reset it here really quick.
Did you plug it into a different USB?
I actually did. We're going to wait a second. Thank you. This is so the original one of these. I guess these are kimonos. Was actually a gift from my sister. It was the black one, which you've probably seen me wear.
It was a pack more than just the black.
Yeah. Ah. And now I have, I've got the blue.
One
I've
of
got
which
the red.
I now own because it shrank.
Yes. I have to be slightly more careful. These are actual cotton, so I have to be pretty careful with these in the wash. They're very comfortable, and they do basically serve as a blazer, which is exactly what I wanted. And frankly, I think they look better than a blazer. If I can be so bold, one of the things I've always hated about blazers is the shoulder pad things.
You can take those out.
I know, but A, you never did. I blame you for that. Blame. But, honestly, in addition to that, blazers just aren't that comfortable because of the cut of it, right? Like, sometimes, if I'm sitting up just like this, it's fine. If I'm like this, it's like, eh. And if I'm like this, a blazer's just straight up uncomfortable at this point. I suppose you could say this is my fault for laying back here, but, I mean, I point you to the sign, which was also a gift from my sister, by the way.
What sign?
Warning, may yell at video games.
Oh, yeah.
So, it seems to be fine. I noticed nothing bad has happened. Let's see if I can figure out what the heck I'm actually doing here. Because ostensibly, they just asked me to go do a bunch of missions. So I should be able to now talk to Brenton and be done. Fingers crossed.
Go in the ball.
You've been invited to. This is perfect. Yep, this is great. So we all the prep work is successful, and we just skipped right over that mission. That is fantastic. Yeah, we should be like basically max repped right now with whatever this is, and that should allow us to skip a whole lot of this crap. So, have you ever heard of the Nakwals? They're ranchers on the continent's frontier, more temperamental than a bull in heat. Wait, what froze? The camera... Oh, yeah, of course the camera froze. That makes perfect sense. Hang on. I gotta do this really quick. Wait, what? Okay. I don't want to get, like, suspicious, but both times the camera has screwed up, it's because I've entered a cutscene. Well, no, because we narrowed it down in the other game, which was Daggerfall. Every time I entered the map, I had camera issues.
So you had to stop looking at the map?
Yeah, actually. Time to pony up, get in line like the rest of your herd, so you pioneers can lead us to success. Okay, so we're out of the cutscene now. What?
Right.
Well, now it's working just fine, of course. Oh, God. Am I going to have to stream the rest of FF11 with my camera off? Is that just where we're at? Is that... Are they doing some new tech in Adeline, which is just making it so I can't? What do you want to bet? Hang on. I wasn't going to go too far into this, but let's do the next quest really quick. We're at 30 FPS, Giga. Rhapsodies was fine. We've already shown Rhapsodies. Okay.
Need a genre.
I'm sorry?
Food.
Mexican. I mean, I've got that at the ready, Shadow Machine. Eastern Adel... I got
Korma, pizza, and curry.
I'm sorry, what?
Shahai, korma, pizza, and curry.
That sounds like a very strange combination. Hang on, I need to hurry. Travel.
Mexican.
Adeline, Eastern. K9. I don't know what that's near. I guess 2. I seem to be fine down here, I notice. No issues. Just gonna move periodically. Okay, so I need to go to K9, which is way over there. That's exactly where I thought it was.
They would put these in.
I know, right? They have such a terrible front end.
Mexican. With a picture that looks like a hamburger.
Perfect. The good news is it's nighttime, which means I think we're good. Nope. We just missed it. Oh my god. Oh, that is the suck. So, in order to advance the quest, I have to talk to someone between 1,500 hours and 2,200 hours. It's 3. That is incredibly annoying. I'm not sure I could have made that. It's taken me almost an in-game hour just to get up here. I want to talk to him anyways, just to see if something happens, but I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I'm just stuck. Yeah, entrance is not permitted, except between 15 and 20. Wow! Negative to gameplay. Hang on, let me give the negative first, Mystic Maker. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, story at the expense of gameplay, which is just kind of the watchword here. We still good? Yeah, we're still good. Alright, well, I do actually have a couple things I can do super quick. So let me tell you the incredible, in-depth, extensive story of the Adelan's expansion. So, this is the new frontier. Anyways. Tom Cruise is evil. I knew it! Yeah, no, it's a new continent that people are flocking to do what people do whenever they find a new continent. That's why it's called Seekers of Adelan. Let's see. Job points. What do we got? Here we go. I love me some pillaging. All right. I love it so much, we're going to play some Kirby music. I've already done it. I did it earlier, Giga. Because, yeah. Is that in a... God, yeah, here we go. Content. Other? No. Tutorial? Actually, yeah, it is under tutorial. What do you know? I like how Rhapsodies is listed first, by the way. Oh, right, because I didn't do the optional missions. Yeah, makes sense. What? What's happening? Whoa! And it's... Yep, we lost the webcam again. That's... such a good thing. That's... No, that might physically be the webcam, which is easier to fix. A little more expensive.
Well. Shit.
Yep, those are actually my
Our usual
eyes.
Mexican is closed.
Really?
Temporarily closed.
Alright, well that's the only good Mexican, so veto on that then. It's the only
the
good.
only good Mexican house. So.
Exactly. If you can find a new one, fine. But otherwise, let me think about an alternative.
Try that one. That one's like an hour away.
God damn it. Well, yes, this is not the lore you're looking for. All right, hold on. What was the song that was... I'm sorry this is taking so long, by the way. What was the song that was playing that was so good? The one that, and I quote, slaps. Oh, Booster's theme. Yeah. And confirm. I also apparently have to repeat my story about water filtration now. Let's make sure this is nice and snug. Here. Okay. All right. Yeah, so by great coincidence, my sister procured a water filter that was actually redundant. I, to my great dismay, had already actually opened the darn thing. And so there's no, I mean, we could have probably returned it, but I just use it now. I've got it right over there, and I just refill it periodically. And let me tell you, filtered water is good. I like it is noticeably improved.
Pick yours.
Okay.
Are you ordering a new?
Well, I'm thinking about it, but right now, as you can see, I'm getting this thing working.
I mean, you need to get get that working, and then get in the game, because if it's the game that's causing the thing to,
exactly.
yeah, then you don't need to order a new one.
All the comprehension. What is the what? I don't understand what the difference is.
This is double meat. This is regular. This comes with guac.
What? What?
What?
Guys, Moe's has brisket right now as a meat option.
So, I don't have my glasses on, so I read that as meat.
I mean, it ain't wrong. There's no lies detected there. Okay, so...
When did your shark turn purple?
What?
It's purple.
Oh my god, it is. I don't know. You might find this funny. So obviously, you know, I've switched wallets because that wallet was dying. But that wallet still has use, which is... It works! It works great! Here, I have ordered. We'll find out in a bit, Dr. Okay, so let's see if we can get this thing working. Hang on a second. Turn this crap off. Make sure we're at 30 FPS, which we are. Okay, good, good. I'm gonna go back down here for a sec. Alright. Hi, guys. I'm gonna stream like this from now on. Is that okay? I'll just be like this the entire time. Alright. For real. Give me a second here. So... I need... Let's go this way. This. Sit down. I believe right about there. That's about right. And the lighting is better now that I'm not staring at a white wall. Looks like it's a little off center, but not enough that I care. Okay. So now, let's, amusingly enough, I think it's actually in-game time now. Let's see if this screws up, shall we? Nope, I'm wrong. But yeah, let's just go ahead. Yeah, it's right there so I can watch stuff and play stuff while I exercise, because exercise is boring. So it's what, 1,500 hours? Yes. Almost there. Yeah, I still got a little bit of time. So let's go back through these things. I'm going to be menuing you know, just kind of get some motion going on while I'm menuing here. Alright, quests, objective list, tutorial, level cap increase. Let's get some sparks of imminence here, why not? Kinda already did all this. I don't... Oh! No, I haven't played any of those. Alright, whatever. Unlock merit points. Done. Unlock job points. I think I did that. Nope, I'm wrong. Yeah, whatever. Inventory expansion. Done. Excellent, Giga. Ooh, ooh. I look forward to finding out about that more in a couple months when we're actually there. I'm sure there's a very easy to parse in-universe way to find that without having to rely on the amazing and fantastical Giga Pudding. Alright, so I should be done with this, right? Alright, I gotta do this, right? I do love UI stuff. I did not, Dr. Winter, no. The camera has been very distracting. We seem to be okay-ish so far. Yeah, it looks like we're doing okay. Donation, donation, donation. Donation, donation. Next song. Oh yeah, that's exactly how I feel right now. This song is just where I am at. Anachronox, Cyberpunk, and Darkest Dungeon 1. Thank you, Dr. Winter. Always appreciate. Still no messing up? Okay. I'm kind of relying on you guys a little bit here. This is a different camera. You can tell immediately, right? Like the color balance is completely different. Okay, so we have a capacity point difference. Here's a dumb question. How do I see what my current capacity is? I know this is also going to be water crystal. I should have... Well, maybe I don't have capacity points. Oh, thank you very much. And I steal it back. Mwahaha!
But can I have to a special party in the living room?
Okay, I have to finish work first.
But can I have a froggy? Oh, it's not...
No froggy!
If we finish it,
Well, okay. One
if we
froggy.
can finish it.
You want a froggy too?
Dennis, we need your help building our party.
Okay,
But it's
but
mine.
I have to finish work first, okay? Now go. Go work. Be profitable. Money is all that matters. That's a joke. Don't actually think that way.
Yeah.
You know what really matters? Gummy worms.
Candy doesn't matter.
Candy matters. Don't be silly. Close the door, please.
What is that doing in your room?
We may never know. Okay, so so the capacity thing does exist. What is capacity? Someone help me out here. Because I apparently don't know what that means. I don't know what rambunctious is, Mr. Red. I don't know what ramyun is. I don't know what any of these things are, but you should totally do them. Oh, here we go. This is the music right here. Yes. Yes. Yes! Hey, Zeiss. Dispatch, Cyberpunk, and Horizon. Thank you very, very much. No, it's definitely not a Mega Man X remix of Power Rangers. That would be crazy. Oh, yep, I do not actually have job points unlocked. What do you know? Not that I care, but out of curiosity, what is involved in unlocking job points? Still no bitching. Talk to a dude. That's too much! It's too much to ask of me. Rising Rubus, Cyrus. Jesus! Zeiss, okay. Sensing a trend here. Thank you very, very much, Zeiss, as always. And I will jot that down to the same. Appreciate you. One more in-game hour, and I can finally test this stupid thing. Where is this Giga Pudding thing? Menus, collection, and stories. So at least it's in the game now, Giga. Yeah, that menu did not exist when I was playing this game last. So I'm glad they added something. It looks inspired by Guild Wars 2, actually. So I was about to complain that it's not in order, but it looks like it's actually in reverse order. There's Morrowind, then Clockwork, Somerset, Murkmire, Elsewhere, Dragonhold, Greymoor, Markath, Blackwood, Deadlands, High Isle, Firesong, Necrom, Gold Road, Solstice, Sheogorath takes a holiday. We need to decide when we cut off the ESO run. I know that sounds strange, but we do. We need to come up with a cutoff point. Because they were kind of in mid-stride when, you know, Microsoft showed up and axed off half their staff. Literally. Half. Just think about that. You go to work tomorrow, half the people who are there aren't there anymore. Jesus Christ. When do I stop, Blade Javal? What, like, for this, we'll stop once we're done with Rhapsodies, right? That's the end. That's current. When do we stop with ESO? Like, I'm not asking this facetiously. This is a real question. This is something that I'm not even sure of. Okay, it's been a bajillion years. A negative has been given. Moving on. Let's go ahead. Let's watch the webcam. I don't know, Magister. I am legitimately ignorant on that. Probably, Zeiss. That is the usual strategy. Get rid of the people who know what they're doing because they are paid more because they've been there longer. Well, cutscene doesn't seem to be breaking it so far. That's a good sign. I can actually focus at the game for a second, even though I'm just mostly still over here moving around trying to make sure that this isn't broken. God, isn't it so immediately obvious this is no longer a PS2 game? The textures alone. We've collected 3 in just the past month. Considering how we hadn't found any chunks of Vanadium for years, that's an annual increase of infinity%. Yeah, exactly, Blade Javal. I'd say money spent recruiting all those pioneers is more than paid for itself. As ever, your naivete knows no bounds. Death awaits all who step beyond Jorius yet, and I dare say you'd not soon like to lie in a beer, even one made of bald. Nothing good can come of raping the land and violating the will of our ancestors. Hi, Nordame. You've gone so blind in your old age you can't even see the forest for the trees, Hildebert. I think it's time you give up your seat to your son, Gramps. And yeah, camera seems to be working, so we've got our patch fixed at least. No amount of flim-flam and hocus-pocus flung by senile old detractors can hide the truth. Numbers never lie, my friends, and they're telling us to charge on ahead with the pioneering effort. We'll be drowning in profits. I can't even begin to fathom the depths of Eurydice. You are willing to throw common sense, tradition, and the continent itself away just to line your pockets? Something I've always found funny. Can I just pause for a second? Going as far back as FF3, the Final Fantasy series has always had an anti-corporate tint to it. Have you ever noticed that? Sometimes it's more environmentalist-y, sometimes it's more, like, specifically greed or mercantilism or capitalism or whatever. FF7 is probably the most overt of these, but all of them have it, right? Norg in freaking FF8 with the Seed. You know, child soldier mercenaries, for Christ's sakes. It's always been a thing, so, like, I wonder why. Not that it's a bad theme to have, but it's funny how that and war tend to be 2 of the most common themes in a Final Fantasy game. Blatantly ignoring our king's dying request and indulging in vulgarities. We are sure to lose Ultana's blessing should this plan bear its rotten fruit. Only thing that's rotten in this room is your outdated sense of morals, old man. Adolin has to stop being so insular. Don't you get it? We live in a pluralistic world and must look to the global market. Like those brave crusaders of justice who've worked wonders in the Middle East, Middle Lands, and the Near East. Oh, what's their name again? It's right on the tip of my tongue. You know, fair Shadow Machine. Ah, yes, adventurers. Thanks to the influx of adventurers, Adolin's seen drastic increases in those barbaric nomads who care not to wait for the bounds within the land. I swear, if I looked up dogmatism in an encyclopedia, your portrait would be right at the top, you old geezer. I've had it with your childish aspirations. I'll not be called geezer by a money-grubbing midget like you. This is neither the time nor place to be acting like this. Shame on both of you. Just think of the goddess who were to witness two of her children besmirching each other. The tears she would shed. Such a troublesome pair, you two. Yeah, who do you prefer? The stodgy old codger who's a religious zealot? Or the hyper-capitalist who cares only about exploiting the land as much as possible? Choose wisely! Monsieur Lawrunner, I presume. Allow me to bid you welcome. How is it I know your name? How coy of you. It's truly elementary, my dear pioneer. No, I'm neither prescient nor clairvoyant. Your reputation simply precedes you. It is indeed grand. How could it not be after performing such glorious deeds? As an aside, did you know that a whole century has passed since the sacred city of Adolin was established? While that may be an obvious fact, a lesser-known piece of trivia is that the population of the archipelago has more than doubled in the last decade. This growth shows no signs of stagnating either. The obvious outcome of the population explosion is the demand placed on our food supply, as well as our insufficient housing, which has increased dramatically. What is this, Japan? The sad fact amongst all of this is that we do not possess the technology to increase the island's land mass. There will eventually come a point at which available land can no longer accommodate the populace. Again, Japan. I realize the last thing we need is a fearmonger. However, I sincerely believe we've already reached the breaking point. Congrats, Acta. Which you get the grats, obviously. It's exactly why our colonization effort is indispensable. To the west, huge tracts of land. It is gaining all that land worth breaking the ancient pact. Speak your grievances, my dear Gratzig. I am nothing if not fair, and there are two sides to every story. Let yours be heard. Do you remember King August's last words? Tread not upon the hinterlands of Ulbuka. That pact with the spirits has been honored by our people for longer than any of us have been alive. To blatantly ignore it would do nothing but invite divine retribution. Isn't that right? That may be true, but Chancellor Ignis is Adris's descendant. It is he who patrons the colonization movement. Do my eyes deceive me, or says Mr. Adolin yet to grace us with his presence? Grand Chancellor Ignis has a bout of illness, or so I'm told. Oh my, this does not bode well, not in the least. I'm not doing the stutter. He convinced us all to disregard the Founder's will, and now is unable to even stand before us and defend his position. How can the mastermind behind this sacrilege worm his way out of all culpability? To hell with this farce! The anger is more than understandable, but there's little we can do if the Chancellor's ill. So, my character, canonically, roams from table to table, looking for popcorn. And it's like, okay, fancy hors d'oeuvres, pass. Bread, pass. Rotten, weird-looking foreign fish, pass. Oh, that's just a bunch of fruit, pass. There's a dessert, pass. And just keeps going from table to table, trying to find some frickin' popcorn. Turn of events my tale. He'll probably lock himself away in his ivory tower, sniveling into his pillow and quivering at the grave mistake he's made. That's quite the venomous statement, Gratzig. So it is, and I stand by every word of it. And you, Chero Machero, your hands are just as sullied. Why am I here again? What the hell's this? Lore Runner. We have employed this rugged fighter as a pioneer. He also happens to be one of those fabled adventurers so oft sung of in songs of the Middlelands. His prowess in exploring has been indispensable to our cause, so he's been invited to the gathering. Sounds like nothing but a filthy swindler to me. No. No. I'm just eating popcorn. Excuse me, maize right in front of him. I guess this means you're here for His Highness, then. Oh, nice pillagers now. God, the writing! Okay, so... The thing I always struggle with most as a reviewer is describing the specifics of good writing versus bad writing. Sorry, let me be more clear. Good dialogue versus bad dialogue, right? For me, it's kind of one of those you know it when you see it things. If you push me into a corner and force me to, I can sit down and enumerate the difference between good dialogue and bad dialogue. But when you get into gradients, like what's the difference between a 7 out of 10 dialogue and an 8 out of 10 dialogue? Now, I am confident enough in my analysis and my experience that I can tell the difference between a 7 and an 8. This, we were at like a 6 and we've jumped up to a 9. This is actually really solid dialogue. Because it's the kind of thing people ask me, I'll tell you 2 objective things that are things you can measure that show the dialogue improvement. First of all, the word choice is way better, just in general. A lot of these people are speaking like a person would speak, right? This sounds like dialogue rather than someone reading lines off of a page or someone reciting events for the sake of the audience. Reciting events for the audience is probably one of the worst banes of writing in general, in dialogue, I should say. The second thing is each person here has a slightly different sentence structure and word choice that helps to differentiate them. In other words, even if the camera didn't show Gratzik here, you could probably tell the difference between Gratzik's dialogue and the dude back there's dialogue and the Taru's dialogue. And I'm not even talking about the verbal tics, just the way they're speaking. The Taru speaks in very short sentences. This. Like there's a tempo to it, right? It's a little bit faster than, say, look at this. All that was like one sentence too. Well, 3 sentences, excuse me. But you can see the tempo difference. I removed the words so you could feel the distinction, right? Yeah, the color splash thing, exactly. Of the many sins Paper Mario Color Splash pulled, dialogue was not one of them. It was very well localized and very well written. So you could tell a Toad different from another Toad, even though they literally looked identical to each other. Here, just to continue this for a second, let's switch to another character. It's switch over to another person. Forgive me for not reading the dialogue there, but I wanted to convey what I mean by how it is objectively superior dialogue writing because of something as simple as distinction. It's harder to do than it sounds. So here's our love interest for the expansion. There's always one. Please don't give me a ring. I've got like 4 already. One of them's an earring. Again, let me apologize for my tardiness. No need. Also, you notice the politics is being shoved right up front and center. It seems my brother has worked himself sick over the issue of colonization. He came down with a fever recently, and so has been confined to his bed until his symptoms subside. Still, this is an assembly of the utmost importance. Hasn't he heard about the... Yes, we're both well aware of what transpired. No, our love interest with Lilith played 12. Come on. I have told my esteemed brother that if the colonization effort should continue, it should do so with all due caution. I'm actually kidding anyways. No, our real love interest in Wings is clearly Mayoko? The dancer, the guy with the lisp. You see what I mean? Here, look. Once again, Mayakov, thank you. Once again, showcasing the difference in sentence structure. Do you see how short and to the point that is? Even when he's saying something other than a literal one-word sentence. What? Why? Think of the riches! like his speech pattern indicates someone who's just kind of flunking right through that, right? Oh me, oh my! It seems Lady Arcelia isn't too fond of letting people enter the jungles outside the city. Yeah, she certainly enters them often enough. Well, that's what an astute detractor might argue, anyway. The 12 orders of Adolin were created equal, but some more equal than others. I suppose that's bound to happen when the members of one have the founder's king's blood coursing through their royal veins. I'm so glad you decided to become a pioneer, Lore Runner. Can I help you? See, I was right after all. We did meet again. I don't recognize you. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to test the webcam. Okay. Well, good news. We saw a cutscene. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah, it was just 6 months ago. I don't know what's wrong with me here. Let's see if I can find this cutscene. Let's see. I don't see a link in Discord. You lied to me. Oh, and here. Well, I definitely didn't see that. Waypoint, huh? I see a way Morrow. Oh, over here. You mean to my right. Oh god, they're labeled by, like, name, not map. Well, there's the final cutscene. That's clearly what I want. Okay, I remember this. I remember being confused as hell, because we're just like... I don't know what the hell's going on here. I still don't know what the hell's going on here. I never made water. I mean, I was pretty close to quitting, Mr. Ed, I'm not gonna lie. Do not interfere. This child has violated the sacred pact. She must be punished. The rules demand it. The land thirsts for blood. I don't want to die. Don't hurt them. Yeah, so here's the lady we were just talking to, who is apparently a royal. Good to know. Here, use this instead. Hello, Pharaoh the Band. What is this treachery? She broke the pact. I understand that people are forbidden to tread upon these lands without the blessing of the spirits. But that's hardly a reason to kill a mere child. What is it with this game and killing kids? Or trying to kill kids? Don't get too close. Only trying to threaten them. I'm glad we see eye to eye on this. Simply wave your arms like this to make yourself look bigger, and... Wow. There. Everything's gonna be fine. Don't cry, little. Could you tell me why you're in this scary place? You know it's forbidden to come here, right? Why, that's... My grandpa's really ill. He coughs all the time and doesn't have the strength to play with me anymore. Something for a cough. Some time raw should do the good trick. A search for medicine does not give you the right to enter these woods. Leave this place at once. A hex on your families, a pox on your race. Shut up already, you twittering stool sacks. Look, I know where those herbs are, so just point us in the right... I know you know where those herbs are, so just point us in the right direction. You do know where they are, don't you? From here, proceed in yonder direction. Also, are these just straight up the elements from frickin' FF14? No, they grow in fields to that side, to the left. Straight, I say, straight and true as the crow flies. Oh, for the love of Altana. Which one is it? Spirits are so intimidating at first, but they couldn't even tell north from south. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I don't think we've been introduced yet. I'm the main character. Don't trust her. Lore Runner. What an exotic name. I'm not sure I've heard it before. Anyway, my name's Arcelia. Arciela? Pleased to meet you. Thanks for keeping your weapon sheathed against those farcical specters. Come to think of it, I've never seen anyone like you in those parts. Are you new to Adoulin? I knew it. Chalk went up for the old Arcelia. Arciela. God damn it. Welcome, by the way. How's the trip over? What? You were teleported here? It's lucky you didn't materialize a little deeper. You could have been ground into fertilizer. Or perhaps I've misjudged you. On second thought, you look an awful lot like an adventurer from the Middlelands. Well, are you? Of course you are. The way you stare down those fiends without a glint of fear in those eyes of yours, nothing could be more apparent. An adventurer in the flesh. Well, I hate to be the harbinger of bad news, but you're not allowed to enter the woods unless you're a certified pioneer. Sorry. Don't worry, though. I know those parts like the broadside of my sword. This girl will be safe in my care, and those herbs are as good as found. I also have a scroll that'll take the two of us back to the city, so returning won't be an issue either. If you're not so quick on your feet, we might even beat you there. Oh, and I might help if I actually told you how to get to town, huh? Well, it's straight shot through those trees. You can't miss it. How about you, little one? Would you like to tell me your name before we get going? Tiana? What a lovely name. Could you tell me a little bit more about your grandpa's illness? The more I know, the more likely we'll be able to find something that'll cure him. I'll be praying for your safe arrival to the city, Laura. And just so you know, it'd be really great if you became a pioneer. Then I could see you again. Oh, goodbye. The Seekers of Adoulin. Expansion number 837. of 17,000. As the 8th century came to a close, so did the island's old regime. The royal family, in partnership with the 11th Orders, agreed to abolish imperial rule, from which rose something that I apparently can't read out loud quickly enough. The sacred city of Adoulin. The rate at which it developed astounded all. In the blink of an eye, Adoulin had become a maritime metropolis, its mercantile prowess rivaling even that of Juneau. The hustle and bustle of the Commoner's district in the west, the center of trade and the pioneer hub, are in stark contrast to the stoic castle to the east. It's upon this opulent landscape that adventurers leave their mark in the next chapter in Vana'diel's history. Shadowbringers, Pillar of Snow. That's a lie, actually. It's Heavensward. Hi, Lord Winter. You're such a slowpoke. We've been waiting forever. Tee-hee. Yeah, Arciella, god damn it, was really nice and helped me find the perfect herbs right away. She's so brave. We kept going deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods. And she never got scared or lost, even though no one was around. She knows a lot about different types of herbs, too. Not just the one my grandpa needed, but ones that'll make you healthy and stuff. She taught me a whole lot of things in the forest. Then she cast some magic and went whee all the way home really fast. I never knew how powerful magic could be. Don't you think it's amazing, too? Whoopsie, I forgot I still have to give my gramps another lesson. Thanks for rescuing me from those evil spirits, Low Runner. I never thought I'd make it back home. Bye. I'm pretty sure that when they switched to the new voice acting crew, the one in the UK, they also switched to a new localizer team. Don't quote me on that, though. Well, what have we here? Another newcomer to Adoulin. By the look of you, I'd say you're from the Middlelands. Does that also mean you're one of the pioneers helping to colonize our continent? I truly hope you are. How incredibly grand it would be to see our daring and capable frontiersmen swell in rank. I can barely contain myself thinking about adding an extra member to our cause. Despite my outburst of enthusiasm there, I'm not actually part of the colonization movement. If you want to sign up and make Adoulin a safer, more habitable place, go to the Coalition headquarters. Talk to Brenton, which is who I just talked to earlier. And we're caught up. Because this is when they're like, go do quests. And immediately after go do quests is... Yeah, hang on. Yep, go do quests. Go do quests. Go do quests. Oh my god, I get it. Let's go. Oh my god. Why does everything take a million years to do in this game? Yeah, and then here's the dinner. Okay, yeah, we're good. So we are caught up. A high-level story in RDR 3? Oh gosh. I don't know, like maybe playing as a Pinkerton would actually work, and just kind of absolutely curb stomping everything like the monstrous, horrible, evil, garbage bit person that you are. Anyway, so does Adoulin have my attention yet? I know you probably haven't looked at the document, Blade Tall, but yeah. I'm being serious though. I think that would work. I'm gonna do one thing before I forget. I think. Hang on. Maybe? Well, hang on. What? What? Oh my god. Use a certain number of Imperators and then speak to 11 to complete missions and start the next. This walkthrough is so wild. You can use Imperators to fulfill the mission, in which case the next mission can be started the next game day. For quick coalition assignments, buy stacks of blood thread and repeat gather materials. For repeatable quest fame, do these trios of repeatable quest turn-ins. For general quests, do these quests to increase your fame. Yeah, so one of the experiments in Adoulin is a lot of your progress is tied to your rep. This is actually a fairly big thing we talked about extensively off camera, because it was considered one of the big barriers to progression. I am not sure where it keeps track of my rep, but I should be really freaking high rep. Like, I should be basically maxed. I don't remember where to see that. Okay. Telling you was Dr. Winter. Pinkerton. Of course you have to talk to an NPC to see something that'll be a menu. What game do you think you're playing here? So that's... It's gotta be that one, right? Okay, yes, this is 3. It's labeled on the map, but not in the menu. Right, I remember this twit. What's my reputation like? Your name belongs in the annals alongside August Adalins as an example of a true hero. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Yeah, as I say, we're maxed. God, that was a thing, too, pushing through that. I don't mind. It's done, we're good. That was a very mindless grind. Holy crap. That alone should probably smooth out Adoulin, which is... I need something to be smoothed out after Wings. Yeah, rep gating MSQ... The fact that it's smoothed over means I'm not going to be too harsh about it. Though I remember looking into the way that the system used to work, and that sucked! Oh, that would have been so many negatives. Like, I would have been just compounding those negatives. As is, I'm thinking 2. Anyone want to contest that? Yeah, pretty much, Mr. Red. It's nowhere near as bad as it. It really is just the watchword for FF11. It could be worse. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and chop off here, I think. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Tomorrow, hopefully we're actually gonna do Abyssia. So that'll be cool. And then we'll continue this stuff. I'll see you guys.